Tower, experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra frequency change. Approach experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra is type experimental dark star, 2 miles northwest of Mount Pleasant, 1,700 feet. Request flight following.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra approach. Squawk 7665.
Squawk 7665 experimental Delta Kilo Sierra.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra radar contact 1 mile south of Mount Pleasant, 3,000 feet. Altimeter 29.92.
Roger, experimental Delta Kilo Sierra.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra contact Comodoro Rivadavia Center on 125.5. Good day.
Going to 125.5 experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Comodoro Rivadavia Center, experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, 7,100 feet.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Comodoro Rivadavia Center altimeter 29.92 radar contact continue. Kilo Sierra, contact is Isa Center on 124.5. Good day.
Going to 124.5, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Is Isa Center, Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, flight level 605.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra is Isa Center, radar contact, continue.
Is Isa Center, Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra. Request clearance to transition Charlie airspace.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra is Isa Center. Cleared through the Charlie airspace.
Cleared through Charlie airspace, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra, contact Aeroparque approach on 120.6. Good day.
120.6, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Goodbye. Aeroparque approach, Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, flight level 200.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Aeroparque, approach altimeter 29.902, radar contact, continue. Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra, contact is Isa Center on 124.5. Good day.
124.5, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Goodbye. Is Isa Center, Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, 15,800 feet.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra is Isa Center, altimeter 29.902, radar contact, continue. On route 2 tree 907, heavy traffic in sight.
Aeroparque Tower, Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra is 5 miles south, 6,600 feet, with uniform to land.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra Aeroparque Tower. Altimeter 29.902, wind calm, enter left downwind runway 13.
Fly left traffic runway 13, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra.
Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra, wind calm, clear to land runway 13.
Cleared to land runway 13, Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. niner experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Goodbye. Aero Parque Ground experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra taxi to parking.
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra taxi to general aviation parking via taxiway Tree Charlie. Experimental Delta Kilo Sierra, please acknowledge.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Tree Charlie experimental Delta Kilo Sierra. Aero Parque Ground experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra. Could you please connect the jetway to the aircraft?
Experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra, we can't connect the jetway to the aircraft. Please retry later.
Aero Parque Ground experimental Alpha Sierra Delta Kilo Sierra. Could you please connect the jetway